Hello, my name is Zoe and welcome to Farmer Yummy. So I wanted to do this video to give like an overview, kind of a timestamp of what's in my collection at the moment. We're about halfway through 2025. I figured, I just unhauled a bunch of stuff. Might as well, stamp it in time what I have right now. How I organize my collection is I go by size and then alphabetize it. So at the beginning I have all my one-shots from biggest to smallest. And then from there I have all my small volumes, then my normal size volumes, and then my big volumes, all alphabetized in those categories. I like it that way because it's easy for me to find a series and I generally remember what size those volumes are, if that makes sense. Because like if I wanted to say read Banana Fish, then I would go to my normal size volumes, pick up Banana Fish, head on my way. So yeah, that's kind of how I organize them. I've been collecting since I was a very small child, about 8 or 9. My sister started collecting Fruits Basket. We collected it as it came out. Then my first series I personally collected was Shugochara, and then after that I collected Soul Eater. And then through my teenage years and through a little bit of college I stopped collecting, but then around like 2022 is when I started picking back up again, and I've amassed quite a bit. I'll put the number on the screen of how much I have, how many volumes I have, and yeah. So for a couple months now, I haven't really been buying anything because money's been tight. So I only have about 3 volumes on the way right now, but that's fine by me. I have a bunch of series that I haven't read in my collection, so I have a bunch to be read. So it's fine that I'm not collecting, constantly, and I have figures on the way, which are very expensive, so honestly, I just collect at my own pace. I don't think it's necessary to compare your collections to other people's when, they're in different financial situations. What I personally enjoy about collecting is just having all my favorite stuff in my room. I have many different collections of many different things. I have comic books, normal books, video games, stuffed animals, anime figures, etc., etc. I just love having stuff around me that I love. I don't know, it just makes me happy. Let's get into looking at my favorite series now. The first series I wanted to talk about is Shugochara. It's the first series that I personally collected and I have a very special place in my heart for it. So I used to carry it around in a bag with me and take it everywhere. And then my cat peed on that bag and then I lost it for a long time, but then I rebought it in like 2023, I'd like to say, and I'm gonna hold on to it forever. I don't have the 12th volume because it's very expensive nowadays, but it just has a very special place in my heart. The next series I would like to talk about is Soul Eater. So Soul Eater is the second series that I ever collected, and I have all 25 volumes and all 5 volumes of Soul Eater Not. I love Soul Eater. I think it's a great series. It can be lewd at times. So I wouldn't recommend it for the age that I was reading it at, but I think it matured me in a way, and I like the humor in it. I think its art style very much progressed over time. The beginning is very rough for its art style, much like other mangas of the time that it came out. I think the ending of the manga should be animated because the anime did not do the ending justice at all. I think the anime's ending is very just like unfinished, and I would like to see it get the Brotherhood treatment that it deserves. Fruits Basket is the next series I would like to talk about. So when I say my favorite mangas, I don't include Fruits Basket or Full Metal Alchemist because I think they go above and beyond with their story, and I just don't think they even compare to anything else because they're so good. So Fruits Basket, for me, we used to take it on camping trips. We used to take them on just road trips in general. We would read these volumes so much. My volumes are destroyed basically because of how much we read them. But that just adds character to them, I think. And I just love them so much. They're probably not as bad as I'm thinking they are in like destroyedness, but I just think it adds a lot of character that those pages are stained with my tears and will forever be stained with my tears. Okay. So this next series, I haven't actually read the manga for. Sue me, I know. I have all of it, the box set, and everything that my boyfriend so graciously bought for me. Thank you. I haven't read it, but the anime is so good for this series that I just had to have it, and I will read it eventually, but Full Metal Alchemist goes above and beyond for me. I think the storytelling is so good, the character development, the art style, everything about it, the funny quirks of, you know, how animes and manga have just like those funny moments where it's like, oh, gotcha, or like they go to really rough, cartoony looking stuff. I just love that. And parts of Full Metal Alchemist where like Ed transmutes his face onto just different things, like his weapons and things. I just think it's so funny and I love it, and it will forever be my favorite anime. Moving on, my next series is Late at Camp. This is what I say is my favorite manga because the art style is so adorable. Anytime I want to relax, this series just does it for me. If I'm having a bad day or just need a pick-me-up, this series does it for me. I love it. I love the storytelling. I don't think it's crazy in its character development, but I just think the series is great and cozy, and I love it. And I just, in my head, it's a lesbian story. Sue me, even though it's not, and I know it's not. I'm holding on to something that's not there. So the next series that I'm talking about is Drifting Dragons. I love it for its art style. I think it's got that like etching art style in it that I love so much. Same as like Witch Hat, which I will talk about later. But the food in this series makes me want to eat so freaking bad. It's so like, it just makes you hungry after reading it. And the characters are really interesting. I like the vibe of it. It's just super adventurous and I love that. So this next series is called Land of the Lustrous. I had to read this series multiple times to understand what's happening, and I still don't understand what's happening. The art is so freaking gorgeous that sometimes you just get lost in it and you don't know what's happening. Maybe that's just me, but I love this series. But this series is one of a kind. I just think it's very lovely in its art style, in its storytelling, and it's just interesting the way that they go about it, how they're all gems and they're androgynous, and it's just very pretty to me and I love it. This next series is probably my number 2 manga that I have in my series. It's called Witch Hat Atelier, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think its storytelling is really good and its art style is crazy. I think it's so lovely and wonderful. It depicts these children going through kind of a rough time because they have to keep this secret about magic that no one else knows. And it's very rough for Coco, the main character, because she has to, deal with some really hard choices about like going with what certain people say and going with what other people say. And it just kind of, tears her apart a little bit inside, and I think it's really lovely in its storytelling. I also am getting the figure of Coco, the re-release from Kotobukiya, and I'm really excited for it. Haven't gotten it yet. I do the 3-month shipping, save some money. These next 2 series are my favorite gay romance and my favorite just romance in general. So I'll talk about Sweat and Soap first. This is my favorite romance. I know it's very inappropriate at times, but I think it's so wholesome and it just, shows a relationship of a well-known man and a woman who's not so sure of herself, and I can relate to that really hard. And I think that it just shows their relationship growing over time. And it's a little creepy at first because he is interested in her in the way that she smells, and it's a little weird, but I think that it's just so wholesome and sweet. The last favorite of mine that I'm going to be talking about is Given. This is a BL series, my only BL series that I have that's official, the BL title. But it's about these 4 boys in a band, 2 high schoolers, 2 college students, and it is gut-wrenching. It is sometimes hard to read. Sometimes I have to put it down because it's so overwhelmingly powerful. And it just, It's so sweet that these two boys, it's like a coming of age story, and learning new things about themselves together, and I think it's just so lovely, and it makes me jealous of them because I would love a love story like that. Okay, so there's my overview of my collection, my favorites, what I like about collecting, and everything. If you liked the video, great! Thank you for watching. I hope you come back!